It's time we passed the obtained data via the setResult mechanism. Apart from setting the code itself, it can pass data as an intent. This is nothing more than using an intent as a map, which includes certain data which can be passed between elements. We have to create an ordinary intent, this time using a slightly different, parameterless constructor. Such an intent becomes the data which can be passed. Of course, we had to fill it earlier with some data by inserting putExtra and specifying the relevant key and the value to be inserted. Additionally, we package data and push it using the setResult. As I've said, the onActivityResult method has 3 parameters. The third one is intent, which includes data. It's good to remember that an intent may be a null if we called a single parameter method. We can assume that result OK means that the data parameter includes our content. In order to extract data from an intent, we use the getExtra method. These are parameterized methods, and that's why we have to specify the type of the elements to be returned. In our case, we want to extract the getStringExtra located under the key content. Using keys as strings is tricky. It's easy to make a mistake. There is a much easier approach to create a constant which includes a key. That's why in addToDoActivity, we extract content and done as constants. The wizard automatically creates public static final constants. They are available within the entire class in our project. Now we'll start our application. After entering some content during the task creation, we get it in the list activity. This is the simplest approach, but it's pretty tricky. First of all, we have to operate on strings. Secondly, each element has to be packaged and unpackaged separately. Due to this, it would be slightly better to pass whole objects which include complete data. Let's assume that we create a simple Java class named ToDo. It will include only 2 fields. We can create them as private variables, but in Android, there is an approach which consists in that model objects are declared as objects with public fields. This saves the CPU load related to calling methods. We want to push the created object from the place we saved the data. We create a new object and assign values to it. we already have the model object which we'd like to pass in an intent. The problem is that if we want to push an object which is not a basic one in an intent, we'll get notified that we cannot call such a method. This is because the putExtra method does not allow passing objects other than basic objects or objects which implement serializable or parcelable. These are two interfaces which allow transforming a model object into a byte stream which can be passed between activities. That is why, if we want to use this possibility, the ToDo class must implement serializable. It causes all the basic types inside to be saved and then restored from the other side. Thanks to that, we have the possibility of passing data. Now, instead of getStringExtra, we may use getSerializableExtra. We must perform the right casting. From this moment on, we can use the ToDo object by calling the relevant fields. After starting the application, we save the data which is passed the same way as before. This time we passed it in the form of an object. There's also one more method. In the ToDo class, we can implement parcelable instead of serializable. However, we have to remember that parcelable is a rather complex interface. In the case of serializable, we just need to write that the given model object implements serializable so that all the basic types are serialized automatically. In the case of parcelable, we have to write the support for the object serialization and deserialization on our own. However, this gives us much greater writing and reading speed. It makes a real difference in case of large numbers of objects to be saved. So, if we need to save a simple model and pass it between activities, it's much better to use serializable. That's all about expanding our activities. Now we'll go back to the login activity and deal with the login process.